In general, I don't use content warnings when I read books. However, my dad died of COVID in 2022, and I was in a horrible state of grief. And I couldn't read anything that had the death of a father in it. Getting the heads up that there was the death of a father in a book, or any story, movies and TV shows too, was helpful to me. In fact, I had a few friends say, "Oh, don't watch this popular episode of whatever right now. It's not a good time for you to watch that." And so I just don't understand why caring about triggering people is a problem for some people. If you don't, if you don't want to include trigger warnings or content warnings in your books, that's fine. Nobody, I don't think anybody's going to make you. Maybe someday. I mean, they made people put content warnings on, or at least content labels on things like TV shows and movies. Maybe they will begin to do that with books at some point. I don't know. In any case, putting the putting pregnancy loss, grape, essay, uh, parent loss, all those kinds of things in the front or back of a book where a person can discreetly check it out if they are feeling sensitive about something, then I don't see how that hurts anybody and why people want to like go, don't ask for content warnings. Don't be a wuss. Go look at just go in not knowing. Like I don't understand that mentality. I don't get it. The only part of it that makes sense to me is people who are worried about spoilers. And the question of, well, what about spoilers? What about if saying that there's a pregnancy loss or a miscarriage is a spoiler? People who need content warnings know that they might read something that could be a bit of a spoiler. So that question is answered. It's not going to spoil it for people who skip the content warnings and who don't want the content warnings. It's a nice to have. It's a nice to have for people who maybe are feeling sensitive. It doesn't even have to be something that they want for every book all the time. Like I said, I generally don't read content and trigger warnings. But that year that my dad died, I really didn't want to see anything with the death of a father in it. So that's where I'm coming from. I don't know, what else to say besides I added content warnings to I added it to my book I published in 2015. I just re-released it with content warnings, and the two books that followed it, I'm going to add content warnings to those too in the very front of the book. People can skip right over it if they want to. Nobody has to read them. They're there for the people who want to read them, and I just don't see what kind of harm that does. Or at least I know it doesn't do harm. What I don't understand is why some people are so dead set against it. So each our own. If people who don't want to put content warnings, don't put them. I mean, nobody has to. But if there are readers out there who want to read a paranormal romance and they want to kind of have a heads up what kind of content might be upsetting to them if they've had a situation in their life that they want to avoid reading about during their pleasure reading, they're going to have that warning from me if they want to read it. That's all. Happy writing, happy reading. Have a lovely day.